Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Winter, and this podcast, While We Wait, is all about my abstinence journey. I am currently celebrating 4 years of abstaining from sex, and I figured what a better way to start off season 4 other than discussing the last 4 years. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. I'm going to get right into it. But before I do, I want to thank everyone who has been patiently waiting for another episode and showing me such grace. You can also follow the podcast at While We Wait on Instagram. Please do follow the podcast on Instagram. I plan to be making much more content. And I'm on TikTok now at BBE Happy, HAPPY, Black, BLACK, Girl, GIRL, at Be Happy Black Girl on TikTok. I'm over there. Okay, let's just jump right into the episode. So I just want to talk about it. I've been abstaining for 4 years, and there is a lot I've learned, a lot that I've also changed in my journey. So I feel really responsible to share because I have so much more to experience on this journey. And a major reason as to why I started this podcast was to get more comfortable talking about this journey and to remain disciplined in this journey. And yes, I will be answering the big question immediately because I know you're thinking about it. Am I waiting for marriage? And the answer to this question has evolved over the years. If you go back and listen to season 1, episode 1, and you make your way all the way over here to season 4, episode 1, you will see that my answer to this question has changed and evolved over the years. And I think that's fine, y'all. It's really okay. I always say in these episodes, I am not the sex police. I am not the abstinence police. I have had sex before. I decided to stop having sex very soon after because I realized I desired much more for myself, and engaging in casual sex is not something that I wanted to do anymore in my life. So I stopped, and it's been 4 years. But yes, the answer to this question has evolved over the years, and where I find myself presently is that I have the intention to wait for marriage, and I'm really purposeful about my language there. So where I find myself presently is that I have the intention to wait for marriage. I want to wait for marriage, and I desire to wait for marriage. And so yes, right now, presently in my journey, I am waiting for marriage at this phase. So first, I really just want to get that out the way, and I did. And now I want to introduce the episode, which is titled 4 Years In. And so, like I mentioned at the top of the episode, this is going to be a reflection on the last 4 years of my abstinence journey, and I wanted to dedicate 4 episodes to it. So today's episode is going to focus on discipline. And I wanted to start the episode series off for season 4 with reflecting on the last 4 years of my abstinence journey and starting with discipline, because the greatest lesson that I have learned is how to redirect my energy, and that has greatly helped me with my discipline in all aspects of life. And so that's what we are going to be focusing on today. And again, I just want to make it super clear, I am not here to judge anybody. We have all had lives before we were committed to abstaining, and we will all have lives after we decide to no longer abstain from sex. So I beg, make your choices for you. So here's how I want to kind of broach this topic of discipline, right? Here's how abstaining from sex for 4 years has strengthened my discipline. When you're dating and you're newly abstaining, so the first year or two of my journey, staying disciplined can be incredibly frustrating because everyone feels like a temptation and or a distraction because it's very brand new to you to no longer be engaging in sex. And you really do experience some withdrawal symptoms, especially if you're someone who was having sex very, very frequently. Again, not here to judge. Live your life. So everyone feels like a distraction or a temptation, and you're considering masturbation. And how I dealt with this is that I did something else, and I'm very serious about this. Every single time, whenever I felt that I wanted to engage in sex, I channeled that energy elsewhere. So I'd open up my laptop and I'd start writing about what I was feeling, and soon I would find myself working on another chapter of my novel. If I had to give someone an ultimate tip about abstaining, it would be to get into the habit of transmuting your sexual energy immediately. Transmuting or redirecting your sexual energy doesn't mean that you ignore it. I'm not asking you to ignore it, and I'm not saying that you should ignore it when you're very obviously aroused. What I am suggesting is that when you feel that way, you do something else to honor those feelings. And for me, that's writing. For you, it could be painting, listening to love songs, whatever floats your boat. It could be cooking, it could be baking. But just find something that brings you joy, that also brings you pleasure, and do that thing. Anytime that you feel that you want to masturbate or engage in sex with your partner or partners. Being able to redirect your sexual energy is a skill itself, and it's to be developed over time. So again, if you've just started your abstinence journey, you're on year one, not even, you're on day one. Don't feel bad if you do give in to your desires and urges. If you masturbate one day, it isn't the end of the world, and you really don't have to start over. You're a human being, and for most human beings, sexual intimacy is something innate. There's something that is just deep inside us that we desire it, we crave it, we want that intimacy with someone or someones. Again, not here to judge, whatever floats your boat. So there comes a point in your life where you become aware to your own arousal and you want to explore that energy. The thing is, you don't have to explore those feelings by having sex with someone. You can reserve that privilege for a specific time and a person. And for me, that's my husband once we're married. For you, that can be your partner once you're in a committed relationship. It's different for everybody, and I'm not here to tell you what's right and what's wrong. I'm just sharing my experience. And that's why I started the episode off with answering the big question, am I waiting for marriage? Because again, go back and listen to my season 1 episodes, my season 2 episodes, my season 3 episodes. My answer to that question has evolved and changed over the years because my experiences are so far and wide and beautiful that, yeah, I have had times where I've considered not waiting for marriage and just waiting to be in a committed relationship. And then I've entered into committed relationships, and then my answer changed again. The one thing that has remained consistent, though, is I still haven't had sex. So ultimately, deep down, we could say, one could argue, one could advocate that I have always been waiting for marriage. I just sort of had to really find the comfort and confidence in saying that. I had to really acknowledge and honor that. And so that's what we're doing today. But it's not it's not impossible to do. It's just discipline. So in previous episodes, I've shared why I began abstaining and how I remained committed over the years. But to summarize it, I began abstaining because I desire and desired a different level of intimacy, romantic relationship, and partnership for myself and my partner. And to be more clear, yes, I am saying that for me. When dating, the person I'm dating, exclusively dating, will need to be practicing abstinence. And it's not impossible, ladies. I know it seems like it's impossible that there aren't men who are abstaining, but there are. There are a lot of really wonderful, beautiful, incredibly kind, awesome men who are abstaining. There are. There's a ton of them. And there's one for you, and he will reveal himself to you when the time comes. So don't worry about it. Just keep walking your path, and that's the path of discipline. Staying on your path, on your course, even when nobody else around you is walking that path with you. The path of abstinence, and let's be clear, the path of abstinence when you desire marriage as a woman who wants to be married to a man is a realistic desire to want. It is an achievable life for you. If that's the life that you want to have, then that's the life that you'll have, so long as you are committed to the discipline it requires to have that kind of life. The same way that if you want to be at a high earning job, you have to commit to the discipline it takes to remain at that high earning job once you are hired, right? Everything in our lives requires some level of discipline. Some things require a higher level of discipline. Some things don't require as much discipline as the other. Abstaining from sex, if you are someone who has had sex before, can be something that you may find a bit frustrating to remain disciplined in. And what really, really, really helps is redirecting and transmuting that sexual energy. And I'm repeating that because I want you to think about arousal as an opportunity for spiritual wellness and practice. I want you to think about arousal as an opportunity for getting closer to yourself. I want you to think about arousal, if you have a partner and you're dating, as an opportunity for you all to actually explore that and engage in your arousal without having to have sex. What are the other things that you all could be doing to build and strengthen, yes, that physical and emotional intimacy with each other without having to go all the way? And I'm not talking about just other like sexual things. Like, okay, so you're saying everything but penetration. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. And if you want a better idea of what I'm talking about, go back and listen to my Tantric Sex Tantra episode where I go into full detail about what I'm really talking about here. So it doesn't need to be difficult. It doesn't need to include everyone you know. This journey is really for you. And it needn't be religious either. I did not begin my abstinence journey because I felt that I had sinned or anything. I didn't. I did not feel that at all. I had sex for the first time because I wanted to. And I stopped having sex because I wanted to stop. Like, it was really just that, that's how I made my choices. So it doesn't need to be religious. I didn't begin this journey out of religious belief, although I will say this, abstaining is aligned with my religious beliefs and it has brought me closer to my faith. So my discipline in all has been spectacular and it has improved because I'm practicing abstinence, right? It gives you a better clarity and understanding. And honestly, you just have to explore when it comes to abstaining. Don't overthink it. You don't need to put it on Front Street. It doesn't need to be your personality trait. Just live this experience for as long as you would like to. And the moment that you really don't want to, then you can stop. You can stop. You don't have to feel bad. You can always restart the journey. It's for you. I thought I was only going to be abstaining for a couple of months 4 years ago. And now I've been abstaining for 4 years. So just live this journey. Just have this experience for as long as you want, because you shouldn't be doing it for somebody else. You shouldn't be doing it to please anybody else. You shouldn't be doing it to appeal a certain way to some people. You should just be doing this because you want to, right? The same way that you shouldn't just be having sex because your partner wants to have sex if you know that you're not ready to start engaging in sex. Because if they really are your partner, if they really do care for you, if they really are your boyfriend, if they really are your girlfriend, if they really love you, then they will wait. And I feel that people try to use this argument that, we have needs, we're humans, we have desires, why are we depriving ourselves? If it feels like depravity to you, don't do it. I don't feel depraved because I transmute my energy. I actually acknowledge my arousal. I acknowledge that energy. I explore that energy. I just don't do it through sex. So I don't feel depraved. But if you start to and you feel depraved, then stop. You don't have to abstain. You don't have to. I do. Thousands of people do. You don't have to. Just ladies, live your life. I'm a young Black woman. I'm 25 and I've been abstaining for 4 years. And I've been dating. I've been in relationships. I am having a great time. Oh, really? Y'all can hear, I'll get into it eventually in this season, but I'm having a great time. So it's possible. It's really possible. Please don't think that you won't be introduced to a man that's willing to wait, because he's already waiting for himself, right? He's already walking this path for himself. Not to say that if you meet a person or you get into a relationship with a person and then they don't want to participate in abstaining, that you have to like feel terrible about it. Just decide for yourself, okay, do I still want to walk this path? And if you do, then you have to take another look at that relationship. But you may also find yourself in a situation where the person you are casually dating, and then you begin seriously dating, and then you begin exclusively dating, and then you enter into a committed relationship with, that whole time was not practicing abstinence. But then when you do share that you are practicing abstinence, then you may find that they're like, hey, I want to do that. Not just for you, but I actually want to do that. I hear your reasonings. I see the value in it. I would like to practice it for myself. I feel, for me personally, my opinions, that it really works well when you and someone else are walking this journey together, but also separately, doing it for yourselves, for your own wellness, for your own discipline, for your own, connections. That's how I feel it works best. But yeah, I just really wanted to drive that point home, that I don't want y'all to think that it's impossible or that you have to go seeking out these men. Like they'll come to you. If this is what you're practicing, if this is truly your lifestyle, men who are also abstaining will reveal themselves to you. It isn't as popular for men to be very public about abstinence. It's not very popular for men to even mention to women that they're dating that they are abstaining, right? They just kind of don't have sex with you, right? They might do other stuff, but they might not penetrate you because that's something they're reserving for marriage or whatever their reasons may be, right? You're not in a committed relationship. People are like that, and that is a form of abstinence, and I do respect it, and I do think we should all also honor the various forms of abstaining. So don't worry, girl. He's out there. He's looking for you in the same way that you're looking for him, in the same way that y'all aren't looking for each other. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't go seeking, don't go looking, but be looking. Like, be paying attention when you're speaking to the person, when you're dating. Like, pay attention to the people who you feel may be walking this path as well. And then if they outrightly, because they will eventually explicitly tell you that they are walking this path, just be grateful and give glory to God. But you really shouldn't be caught up on that, because when you're dating, this is a little tidbit into the next episode, which is going to be what I have learned about dating. You don't need to start the conversation with, hey, I'm abstaining from sex. Not his business. That's not your boyfriend. That's really not his business. Unless the conversation just arrives naturally and he brings up his own preferences and, thoughts and beliefs and stuff there. Then you may say, oh, hey, well, I hear you on that, but I don't think we're going to be in alignment because I don't agree with that, because I myself don't practice A, B, and C. Cool, but you don't need to sit down on the first date and before we even get to, I don't know, favorite colors or something, do you like candy, yes or no, right? Hey, I'm abstaining, I'm not having sex. That doesn't really need to be a conversation until it needs to be a conversation. But we'll talk about that more. But thank you so much for tuning in. It feels good. I did have to record this podcast about 2 times before I felt good about it and feel like I'm back in the groove. It's been a while since I've recorded an episode, but I'm back. And I'm happy to be back. Thank you. My name is Winter, and I'm on TikTok at Be Happy Black Girl. And I'm excited to start talking about this journey even more that I'm 4 years. And it kind of like, wow, for me, but it's God. So I'm incredibly happy and thankful that I've been so disciplined for so many years. We will talk soon. Please give me a rating. It helps me 5 stars, leave reviews. It really helps push the podcast out there to other people. I am always accepting guests on the podcast. If you would like to come on the podcast and talk about your journey of abstinence, please email me at w.baxternyc@gmail.com. Information will be in the show notes, but I am always accepting interview requests. I'm always accepting guests on the show. Once again, you can email me at w.baxternyc@gmail.com and I will respond to you. This has been season 4, episode 1, 4 years in discipline. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back soon.